Alright, so, this is blog. Actually, I don't know what number it is. I think it might be like 31 or something. No, it has to be like. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is March the 6th, 2018, 10:17 or something like that. So it's been a few days, couple days or something since I made the last blog. I kind of like to take breaks just because there's a lot of blogs already, and sometimes this is like half hour, an hour. So yeah. Plus, I like, when I do a blog, it takes a lot of energy. And so anyway, seems like watched the Oscars yesterday, which was funny but interesting. I didn't watch it all, I just watched a few of them. But what else? There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I posted up some music on some SoundCloud and got some stuff done with that. Been trying to record. Got ready to record, but I just didn't get to it. It's weird, like, I had to practice up, first of all, just guitar playing and whatever. But there's these songs that, there's always like some anxiety before you try to record something, especially like your own songs or whatever. Like, like you're wondering, you want to make sure that it turns out good, and sometimes they do. Sometimes it takes like a whole day for one song, and that doesn't even turn out that good. So I haven't recorded for a long time, especially like home recording. It's way more difficult than studio recording because you're trying to push buttons and then try to play your song, and then if you mess up, you have to like push stop and rewind or whatever, and then so home recording is way more difficult, and I don't even know how I did it first time. And it wasn't that they turned out all great or nothing, but that's what I got right now to do my recording of some new songs. So I'm still in Orville, California. Still 2018. Been here for over 2 months. 2 months and a week, something like that. So figuring out all this stuff. I wish I could say things are great and normal and everything's wonderful. And actually, in actuality, it is. In the reality of how I feel, and it's just, I don't know how everyone else feels, but it's like this crazy, man. I don't know. It's been crazy for a long time, but I've been trying to watch the news and checking out current events, local events, and it's like the Bay Area and over here are it's like a whirlwind. I don't know how everyone else feels, but it's like, I watched the first blog that I posted in 2016, and I just listened to myself talk about Silicon Valley or whatever, and it's pretty interesting. What's weird is that other people are watching these blogs, so it's kind of like, feels weird to speak so much and have it there, sitting there I had a friend call, an old acquaintance, artist friend, message, and he was like, "Yeah, I seen the blogs. Thought you were crazy, or whatever." He's like, "But it sounds something something." And that's the thing is like, okay, I know I sound crazy, but people that know this, we're all in this world. It's like if you guys probably told your story, people would probably call you crazy too. So it's kind of messed up to feel like I have to do these videos to explain to people my current state or my past life of whatever. So, and the reason, like I've been saying over and over, is because people keep asking. It's like, or keep inquiring, or keep saying stuff about my life from their perspective, from their point of view, from their mental state, or like strangers, man. Like try to think they have something to say to and that's where it really and people even people, your closest people, have something to say about your life when somebody has. I don't know. I know people go through this normally. Like if you just, I don't know how people have done this before social media or whatever. Like it's funny because just change, like things change. Like um, people are reacting different to their mental state. I think everybody is living in their heads maybe too much. I don't know. Maybe that's just what I see on social media, but I mean, maybe like on the news. I know it's just interesting because now I can only say what I experience and see, and so when somebody says something to me about my life, it's like, how the hell do you even, first of all, know? It's stuff that I haven't posted, and I haven't made these blogs when that was happening. So, or before, like, so that's actually, like I said, the reason I'm making these blogs. So I don't have to say stuff again, but people still want to talk. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, you know. So I wrote this song called John Lennon, or no, John, Song Stiller, and people seem to. This is what I'm going to be talking about music, right, for this blog right now. I'll take a moment because I've been listening to my music and posting it on SoundCloud and it's something that's special to me. It has my art, and like I said, people have been trying to use it or whatever. And then there goes the other thing where is there a second sight, or is there like a deeper meaning to my metaphors, or like people trying to change up certain things, but at the same time there's these other things you can call it supernatural, or like whatever it is. People believe in aliens, people believe in God, people believe in the devil, the angels, demons, like I don't know what else they believe in, but in that entities, ghostbusters and stuff like that. So I live in this fear based lying, cheating people world where your cousin or your friend or your acquaintance or whatever, ex-girlfriend, girlfriend, whatever, could be making money off of you or whatever, like seriously, like it's old as time where what was it? Um, Cain and Abel, where Cain killed Abel. So brothers, yeah, enemies. One not knowing they're enemies, and or whatever. Maybe they weren't enemies, and this is a reality of life. Of people making teams, separating themselves and making teams, and working in shadows and whatever it is. But I haven't really done that, but I also haven't really done too great about my own personal situation. So I just don't like it. I don't know. But anyway, so Song Stiller is kind of about that. It's not actually somebody stealing your song. It's actually about, and about people that have songs, their soul, and people's trying to steal that and use it against them or whatever. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to talk about music, my music, because people seem to have. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying too. Like the second side or whatever, seventh side or whatever it's called. There has been some interesting like stuff with my art, like painted this one painting with a big blue bird and and a yellow lady, pregnant lady, and they're hugging, right? It's kind of like the kiss, but it's a big blue bird that's kind of dissipating, and this yellow girl. And I've used a yellow girl before in my art, like and to me, yellow represents like the sun or like the sun, really. So, and in my music lately, like for a while already, I've used in the last couple recordings, like this one album like I'm putting out is kind of already. I worked with a few different musicians and record people, like people that record or whatever, not producers, but like studios, music studios, or whatever. To make kind of just one album, but I kind of broke it up in two because it was two different producers, Dale Price and damn, my brain just went dead. So Dale Price, we worked with a band called Ramona Sky, and these guys were Cody something, a young white kid from Chico area, or Durham, or no, yeah, somewhere over there. Man, I didn't think about all this yet. Anyway, so the band, I worked with these people. I'm gonna put their names on there and everything, but I wrote these songs. The hell, man, damn, I can't remember nobody's name right now. Anyway, I'll have to talk about this another day. That's not what I was gonna talk about. Anyway, then all this other drama popped up in my head that haven't even thought about or want to go into right now. But I'm like, there's just too much, I don't want to put everybody's dirt out there, but which whatever. But anyway, so I made these paintings, and then I made that one a while ago. That was like after I broke up with the girl, and I was hanging out with this girl Lisa, and it's on my videos, my live art stuff. So I was painting it during that time. I don't know what years that was, 2009 maybe. And then like in 2014 or something, 15 maybe, yeah, 2015. I was painting up in Cohasset, and I kind of wanted, I was like I said, I was writing songs about this one girl, this um, next girlfriend. Obviously, everybody, it's on here. It's talked about her a lot. But it's really, it sounds like I'm obsessed with this person. It's not that. It's not that I'm obsessed with this person at all. What it is that I have, people challenging. Like, first of all, I just wanted to go through the emotions. I mean, during 2014, I was still, had these, feelings that I wanted to finish. I don't know. It wasn't, what I put it in is not really about another person, not about loving somebody else. It's more about just getting through a stage of, um, making this album. Making an album. It took a long time to make this album and then put it out there, and then people misinterpreting it, and then having to make music videos to explain this damn song. Like, because the song came out good and people don't want the music to be out. I think it was too good. It's not like all amazing, like whoa, but it was artistically pretty damn good, and it seemed like people, were using all this other drama stuff to make sure that I don't get my music out, and people are jealous. People, especially artists, are really jealous. They're very temperamental and competitive, but like in a way where you can't really just box somebody and see who wins. It's more like this lingering, jealous, like really feminine kind of way of attacking, of trying to outdo each other. So it's like, so people use these mind games to mess up your stuff. Put a try to taint the message of my music, and it's true. You can really do that with people. Like, that's why I'm trying to explain it so I can save some of this stuff. But it's like motherfucker ain't patient. Like, dude, you guys, like, people fucking want to like talk about shit without me, but yet about me, and yet they fucking feel these weird people. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Like, like people that feel that they're important, their shit is, their opinion is important. Like, I have them on my Facebook and I have them on my Instagram, and it's like they're fucking these trolls that are there in the world, and they're just like, and obviously there's a lot of drama and a lot of controversy about me personally. So I understand, like, people getting a little emotional about, if I didn't know me, and I don't know what's out there, but if I didn't know me, maybe I would probably be like, what the fuck? But at the same time, I'm not what the fuck about people unless I know. When I read these things on the news or whatever, it's like, whoa, shit. This guy just got shot, him and his buddy or something in Oroville, and so there's a lot of stuff, real stuff happening, like people, like I've been saying, but like somehow my story seems important to people, and it's weird because, like I said, people just like randomly make a comment about something very personal to me, like, or people, it's just weird. It's like, wow, dude, people really are talking about me like all kinds, and like I said, trolling. So on social media, there's these super trolls, and I really think they're from Sacramento area. Some of them are, but they're like these people that, were either ex-military or like, what they do is they troll like social movements. Like, I went to this lady, Denise, took, Native American lady around town, Chico area, Paradise area, actually Paradise, and her husband, she has a white husband, and she took some photos here and there, like of me doing art stuff, and she invited me to go to Sacramento for this like Idle No More movement when that was going on, and this is what I really think all this is about, is like this whole Native American movement where white folks are kind of scared of any kind of weird colored people uprising, and that's what I seen at the Oscar. They were like, "Oh, it was so white," and then now it's like people of color, and then they were like, "Oh, it was like the lowest ratings ever," and it was like, dude, bullshit. Like, I was watching it. Everyone on fucking Facebook was watching it. Like, it probably was. I didn't like the other ones that are hella boring. I don't know. Maybe people got more money, but you put colored folks on the stage, and it's hella more entertaining and more interesting and more real, and that's where the viewers are. So stale ass fucking, which I'm sorry if I'm being disrespectful to white folks or to rich folks. Like, really, like, I don't have anger or disrespect for people who they are, like, as far as individuals, but um, as far as like class systems, like the idea of, excuse me, classisms. So I understand, like, maybe people also misinterpreting or misunderstanding, or maybe like whatever, like, if somebody, there's like these people that believe in Trump or people that don't believe in Donald Trump, and for his issues, and so it's like, really, like, I don't care about Donald Trump, like him as a person. Like, I don't know, like, people always want to talk about him and like say this and that, and I just use it as a catalyst myself, as a representation of the ridiculousness of the people that believe in Trump or people that don't. It's very, like, kind of clear cut. Like, the Trump people that believe that agree with Trump ideals that he posts, or the conservative kind of, I don't know, Republican supposedly, and then the Democratic will hippie people or whatever, everyone else, like everyone else, anti-immigration or pro-immigration or whatever that is. Anyway, so it's him as a person, though. I mean, who knows? Like, my personal opinion is, actually, I don't have a personal opinion about him personally. I don't know him. I never met him. So, but his role as a president of the United States is how ridiculous we are, where our political, our social media is about social media and the mentality of people, believing anything in the news, people believing the information that our government puts out about, which I don't even blame the government. It's like, dude, people are stupid. Like, it's true. Like, I've tried to believe in people. I wished, I was hoping that, people would be smart. Some people are smart at home. George Carlin and, like, comedians and stuff talk about it. It's like, if people elect these officials or whatever, like, they wouldn't put these people on stage unless people reacted to them in a certain way, and so it's a reaction. It's not. Sometimes it, like George Bush and stuff like that, but they're also part of the demographic of America. A powerful demographic of America. Like, So these people that own corporations, or these billionaires, or multi-millionaires, or whatever, so these people on Shark Tank, um, like the investors or whatever, um, they might deserve their spot in society. And I don't know what their situation is. So I'm not trying to hate on white folks or business owners or whatever class. I'm not trying to be super classist guy, but I do have issues with racism. Obviously, like I've explained already. Um, so when I speak on that, I'll have another talk about my real stance on my the way I speak on stuff. I mean, I don't want. I know I've been called racist a lot, and you know, I know why. I see why. Like I can hear myself, but I try to explain myself, but I never really truly explain myself on these blogs. I don't think. So, anyway, so just keep that in mind. The music thing, I've always played music with a lot of white folks and friends and stuff that I had these bands with, but there's been also issues, even girlfriends, like where there's like someone old uh, family friend, pretty much family, said, oh, you got a girlfriend? I was like, well, I hang out with this, white girl, but I want to hang out with Gianna. She's like, oh, but I was like, like sounds kind of racist, but there's like something there. I don't know. I think she's Mexican. She's married to a white guy, a couple of white guys, and so it's not like, she kind of knows what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I mean, she speaks Spanish and stuff, so it's not like, or English, but Spanish too. Like, she kind of like my mom, like they were friends growing up. Anyway, so I don't get mad, or I don't judge if white folk want to marry white folk, or a black guy wants to marry a black lady, or a Mexican guy wants to marry a Mexican girl, or whatever it is. I think that's cool. If a white dude wants to marry a Mexican girl, or a black guy wants to marry a white girl, or whatever, Chinese wants to marry uh, Indian, that's cool too. Like I'm really not like that. So it's not that I'm like tripping on people's color of their skin, but when I refer to white folks or whatever, it's just a term. It's not a bad term. Like I don't know what else to call them. Like Caucasians, that's a dumb word. I mean, maybe not. I don't know what Caucasus Mountains. Like I don't know. Just I don't. I don't think that really defines the culture. Or what they call themselves. Like they could call themselves that, but if you get technical about it, but Europeans, um, that's not really super definitive either. That's like calling all black people African. They're maybe not from Africa. I don't know. So anyway, so that's kind of when I don't want people to get crazy about that. So the music thing is, so I made these songs. Okay, so I was looking at these paintings that I did, and one of them, I kind of the yellow and the blue from the painting of the bird and the like guy and the lady, yellow lady. That the bluebird was something that I use as a metaphor for a bird. At the time, like I kind of before this, like I didn't really used birds a lot. I've always like when people as a kid, asked like what was your animal you want to be. I was always think of like the jungle cats, like uh, you know a panther or jaguar or like or lion or something. Because I always used to watch the shows, the Discovery shows or whatever. So National Geographics on TV and stuff, and I was always like, well, I think we all watched them. They were cool. Um, Everyone my age generation, probably everybody like that watched the TV watched them. So so that obviously I was like, yeah, I want to be one of those cool, you know, not the bunny that gets eaten, you know. So, uh, or the deer, or whatever, those are cool too. Like, I've met people that actually do like, hey, when they asked what animal they would be, they would say, those different kind of animals. But as a boy, I always was like, oh, I want to be the, fast, agile, kick-ass hunter, alpha. You got to think like when the schoolyard we always do that. Like if you're a character, what character are you? Like you got to be the most powerful one, so you don't just get slapped around imaginarily. Um, so but birds was always on my mind too. Like so the eagle, I was always like, oh yeah, eagle was cool. But the bald eagle is always kind of like, oh, maybe not the bald eagle, but like, what are those other ones? So I never really figured out what kind of bird I liked the most. To being Mexican, just a brown eagle, I don't know. So, but those aren't really popular in America, so I didn't really know about falcons. I didn't really take time to care what bird was which, and but I always like big birds, like the hunter birds. Um, but then singing. I love birds just in general. Like I love butterflies. Love like flowers. I love fruit. I love like nature, sunsets. I like all that beautiful stuff, colors. Um, so birds was always like interesting to me, and the reason that birds were even more than a cat um, to me was they could fly, and that was like the defining factor of my choice of what animal I would want to be, and birds were always there. And that's why I picked the big old birds. But the little birds were also very cool, small and like singing and beautiful, just really amazing, like to look at and just imagine like their wings and their feathers and that was also another thing from Mexican culture, like the roosters, like we always had roosters and the beautiful feathers and then in our culture like the Aztec feathers and stuff like that. So to me, I've always um, associated myself as a Native American kind of brown um, culture. So, but the Aztec culture was close to my my bloodline or whatever. Um, so birds were important and colors and so the birds that like I started getting to know what birds were. We always had bluebirds around our house. Like I remember throwing a rock at the fence and like my brother was there and I was like walked out the door and I had a rock or something and I was like totally far away. This dirt rock. It wasn't a but it was this big old dirt rock and I threw it, just not thinking that I was gonna hit the bird or anything, but I threw it and it hit the bird. And I was like, oh, and so like I got scared because I was like I didn't want to actually hit the bird. I was just trying to be a boy, and then so I had to run around the fence, the other side of the fence, and I saw it next to the tree, and it was laying there all kind of like dead. I thought I killed it, and as soon as I like tried to touch it, like it woke up and it flew away, and I was like, well, and I was relieved that it didn't die. But the throwing of the rock was actually amazing. It was like across the yard, and like I was this little guy, so that was a pretty amazing throw. Anyway, and then my brother sometimes would shoot birds in the sky. We would like, you never think about it, like get a BB gun or pellet gun. And I remember him saying one time, like, or my dad or somebody said they shot a bird, or my brother I think, and fell like by his feet or something like that, and then he saw it die in the blood or whatever, and that's he said he never shot a bird again after that or whatever, because you know, and that's the truth, you know, like you torture like a little, like I used to have ants and like try to make the roly polies fight with the ants or the spider or the whatever insects were there under the rock or whatever, like see if you can get them to fight with each other. And then crawdads, it's so weird. I don't know, like I never thought about this yet or lately, but we do that. I do that. I did that, and so I don't know. I did kind of feel bad, and I never like just killed things, but I would like to see like wildlife, you know. Anyway, but I didn't ever think about birds a lot. I seen them, but I quit shooting birds. You know, you see them from far away, you just shoot, and you know, not thinking you're gonna hit it or nothing. So I don't know if I ever shot a bird in the air, but I shot at them with the BB gun or something. Anyway, so birds, the hummingbird was something that I never really was aware of. I knew what they were, but I didn't really like ever really look at pictures or anything of them. They weren't like on my radar as a kid. I always knew them and I seen them before, like whoa, you know, because they're hovering. But I, you know, they weren't like my favorite bird or nothing. You know, I like the ones that can fly far, like really high in the sky, and like we always see vultures and stuff, but you know, those are ugly. You see them on the wildlife channel, and it's like, oh, like so. Anyway, so falcons and all that stuff, but bluebirds were like the closest thing that I've always seen around, and at least they were blue. I don't know if they were bluebirds or whatever, but there were a certain kind of bluebird. So this is in Gilroy, San Martin area, San Martin, actually. We had a nice yard, and you know, always had animals around and country living. It was a cool childhood. So I used that for my painting before I even had the idea of the hummingbird. Before I read the Native American stories about the hummingbird and kind of like got into hummingbirds, I used one in one of my paintings. Like I said, I was hanging out with this girl Lisa, and she kind of said something about little bird. But I did a painting with one before in San Francisco. Oh no, I didn't even use a bird yet. I don't know when I put the bird in there. I think it was probably after I broke up with that one girl. So I don't know if she brought that idea of little birds in my world or what, but after that I kind of started painting them and kind of thinking about them, and I always liked flowers, so I always was thinking about flowers. But oh, you know what? I did use birds. Oh yeah, for the girlfriend that I did have, and it was hummingbirds. Or there was one black bird, and I used black crows in my art a lot too before that. But yeah, you know what? I did use a hummingbird for flowers, and it was a Shakespeare poem, and I gave it to the girlfriend for one of her birthdays. So I did, and I used it again after that. So hummingbirds ended up being part of my world, and then I ended up even like using it in my story, the Poet King story. It really wasn't in there. The butterfly was always in there, and that kind of represents, you know, beauty to me. You know, it represents rebirth and all this stuff, but it was, to me, it was just beauty. We always had butterflies in our backyard, so Anyway, so the painting has a bluebird. No meaning to it other than it's a blue bird that represented me. And the yellow girl represent always not always represented, but it was always fire. But she, when I met this girl, she was I asked her what her favorite color was, and she said yellow. And at the time, my favorite color was always black growing up, but like purple was my birthstone, so I always had that too. But then I wanted to, kind of got weird to be like purple forever. So when I met her, I was still saying purple and black, but like as an artist, like I kind of wanted to get out of those colors, and I wanted to use bright colors because I like bright colors, and I would try to make my paintings happier and everything. And I realized that I did like yellow a lot. You know, like I ended up like thinking about that, changing my favorite color to yellow. But she liked it, and I was like, oh, you know, like made me like her more. But so she, to me, that was what I used. I don't know how that even. I don't know why I even used like that character or that. I mean, I used all colors, but after we broke up, I kind of used that one all the time. That girl, I used it before in like, you know, Fire Girls, kind of the like the comic books, the Silver Surfer and the Fire Girl. I guess her name's Nova, but I don't know her. I never read stories with her too much, but I saw her in a few issues here and there. But like, I never really even read his comic books before, you know, getting the graphic novel thing. But so Fire Girls and then the Phoenix thing. So those kind of watercolor, like naturally yellow. So yellow was Fire Girl, and but it ended up becoming like this metaphor for this girl that I loved. So when I did that painting, that was 100% for her, but I made her pregnant, and maybe just the idea of, you know, using a girl's body, like not representing the body of a woman perfect, like kind of maybe a little chunky or, you know. So that was kind of that, but it kind of looked pregnant, and I was like, oh, you know, it was kind of distorted, so I kind of was like, I'll just make that bigger, and now she's pregnant, okay. And so then when I did the bird, the guy wasn't a bird, he was a blue guy in the painting. You can see later on at the end I added the beak in there, and that became that metaphor, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty awesome, I like that. So that's how that became that painting, and I've used it in my music and stuff, and what's crazy about that is years later, we had broken up. I had moved out of that house, and I was renting this other room I had talked about already, and she told me she was pregnant, and we hugged, and she started tearing up, and she was like, I don't know why I'm crying, you know, like, it was really weird. You know, I was kind of trying to be unemotional about it, but deep inside it was pretty fucking one of the worst memories or, you know, it was one of the worst things to someone you love saying she's pregnant by somebody else, so it was like pretty bad. But I was like, you know, I was happy for her. I was like, you know, because we had talked before that, and I was like, you alright? You doing alright? And she was like, yeah, I'm alright. And even after that, I was still worried about her. So that was that painting kind of coming true. So that kind of happened. And later on in Cohasset, like I said, in 2014, I was painting, and I don't know how it came about. I don't know. I wasn't trying. I was just using the blue and the yellows because I kind of was into blue and yellows. This is before Warriors or whatever. Like I knew about the basketball team or whatever. But I always loved the movie, but the basketball team, I don't know when that happened. When they won the season or whatever, I don't know. But I was using blue and yellow before that. So I did this other painting, and I painted over it, or I don't know what I did, but and then it'd be in the blue and yellow squares, and I wanted to go abstract, and like I did use her like letters and her words. I collaged it in there, and like one of her wristbands, like had this. I still have some stuff like that I want to use for my art of old memories or whatever of things that like birthday cards or whatever, like whatever. I need to get rid of it, but or use it in my art or just get rid of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but so that's kind of where that painting. So I did another painting, and it kind of looked like that, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." And so for the album cover for Wild, so the two paintings that like they look a lot like completely dissipating in little squares. I don't know if that was like something that I meant to do. I know I kind of was thinking about it when I was making it, but it came out really good. Like, and it kind of was just free flowing. So, but the one that really tripped me out was the painting of. Oh, okay. So the photograph of the wildflower fiction, flowers in the rain and desert skies, whatever, was a photograph that I used when I was in Mexico, when she took me to Mexico with her family, and the first day we got there, her cousin like took a picture of me playing guitar, and her lady was there, and so it was kind of just me playing guitar, but it was a cool picture, and like I was in Mexico, and like she's in the picture kind of too, checking it out, but she's not totally in the picture. But so I liked it. I used it for my album cover because the album was about her. And the reason the songs were about her was when I wrote them when we were breaking up and we were still hanging out here and there. So some of these songs were written in between hanging out, and then completely like Blood and Ink was written because like a tattoo. Well, what's weird about this? Okay, so Nezio and Rain story. There was a couple girls and there was like this girl Francisca, that Mexican girl. It was just really just a boy and a girl, like the story, but it was Mexican boy and girl. So I'd help her help me with the poem in one of the stories where she gets shot up, or where she shoots some of the soldiers or whatever. And so she had some poems, and I used her poem for that. And we were kind of seeing each other at that time, so I drew the stuff before I knew her, but I kind of actually no, I think I drew that scene. It was like the sixth act, and I kind of used her as inspiration for that story, like the hairdo and stuff, like because she would tell me stories about her growing up in Mexico and stuff, and so that kind of got into that story. So that happened, and then, but when I first wrote it, I was with Sarah, but it was never about Sarah, so I don't know. So when I wrote the first act, first started drawing that, like, I don't know. At the time I was drawing girls that looked like Sarah, so I don't know. I don't know. We were still in like, I don't know when I drew those. And it was like, I think when I came back from Alaska, so I was like 19 or something, before she got pregnant or anything. So that was, but she, like I said, it was always a Mexican boy and a Mexican girl, um, or an Aztec, really, Mesoamerican story. So, character. Oh, what was I saying? Dang, I forgot what I was saying. It's almost an hour. I have to make this a two-parter. So, oh yeah, so this photograph of Mexico, Miros, she, she was an inspiration for the character in the second book, and they're adults or whatever. Because I had drew the other stuff already, and so this one was like, and we already had our loves, like our hanging and like getting to know each other and everything. So when I started drawing it again, we were already back in Chico, living in Chico, and a year into it, and so there was like heavily influenced by her. I don't know where that came. Okay, so anyway, so the photograph started there, and then I did a painting way later, which was the one with the guy with the tiger, or he's like kind of tiger, and there's like kind of looks like an alien. It does like a pink alien head. I don't know why it does, but I kind of did it as a passing like thing, but I don't know. I can kind of see that, but that's not what it was meant to be. I kind of left it like that just because I was like, whatever, Like people in art, like in the art world, you kind of want people to be guessing, but when they take it to the next level where they try to change everything about it, it's like, well, that's why I'm talking about it. But it is interesting, and I understand where people might be like aliens or whatever, but I don't think it's aliens. I think it has to do with I think humans do have a sixth sense or whatever, or seventh. I don't know what the sense is, but like premonitions. We have like I talked about before, seeing the future, or dreaming, deja vu. What deja vu is, but I think artists tap into it. So I don't know what that means, but I think the words that you speak are to create your reality, or even thoughts. So this is biblical stuff. So, and all most religions, like philosophies, human philosophies, the power of the word, the power of the thought of your mind, using it, how you use it. So, as an artist, dreams and stuff, visual, like whether it's music or whatever. So this painting, I started with another girl. So there was this other girl named Sarah, and I had met her like way before that. She was from Paradise Girl, and I met her at this art gathering at Simone Sinat's class, and she first started her first semester, and she had a gathering at her house, an art gathering, end of the semester gathering where people brought all their art and got graded, get your grade, but it was kind of like a party thing too. My band played there, and I was sick at the time. Like I got my throat was all messed up, and I was like, it was just I was like, play over here in the dark in the grass, and the rest of the band was like, dude, let's play right by the jacuzzi where the light is, and everyone's like, yeah, play over there. And then I was like, no, let's play over here. So we were like, it was just stupid. I was like, it was not a good gig. Like I totally messed it up, and I couldn't even sing. Like I was like feeling crappy, and it was just like it didn't happen. But before all that, like I was talking to this girl the whole night, and she showed me one of her paintings, which was this. I ended up it's in the video where she let me borrow. I still have it actually. But it's like this girl with some stars and like and boxes, like, and I was like, oh, um, I really like that painting or whatever. Kind of reminded me of the Neziel story, and I was painting the Taylor. It was a scarcity character, it's a big old giant painting. It was like one of my last semesters of painting, and so we were talking about that storyline for all night and whatever. So we met there. She came to a gig after at the bar. We did a bar gig, and my friend Matt met her, guitar player, and he was like, I was like, oh, this is Sarah, and she like started laughing because my ex-girlfriend that you know son of my son's mom. So he was, anyway. So I knew her a long time ago before that or whatever, and so then I was painting. So way later, I always liked this girl, and I was always like, always you know, she knew I liked her, so we would always kind of hang out, but kind of never really hanging out. So, and there's drama and all this stuff too, but during this time there was no drama, as far as I knew. And but I was on 42 Oak, and I was painting, broke up with this girl, or whatever. And during that time, like 2009 and 10, maybe, I don't know, started painting. I started my first oil painting, and that helped me. So kind of was a rough sketch of like these two sides of these characters or whatever, but it didn't really, I don't know what it didn't, there was nothing there. The guitar guy wasn't there, I don't think, so I don't know. I think she maybe painted red. I think she painted just some of the water, like I remember some of her brush strokes and stuff, but so I kind of just like finished it or worked on it and turned it into what it is, but it's crazy about that is it looks like the photograph with the girl in Mexico from the album cover that I had, and I just realized that when I was putting up stuff on my website, and how crazy that is. Like I said, the girl liked yellow, and I use the yellow girl character on the left side, and then on the right side is the guy playing guitar, like, and then there's a red tree in the back, and then there's her side is like blue and yellow, and then the night side it's like night, and then the day is like this guy, and the color scheme's not super, it's kind of like a lot of bright colors, but he's sad, looks like a stone kind of character, like a Picasso kind of looking, sad guitar player guy. But in the photograph, like, everything kind of, like, the guitar is in the same place, the guy playing it kind of looks, but the crazier thing is the painting, there's these flowers on the TV in the photograph, and one is like a blue flower, and then there's pink flowers. I don't know if they're real flowers or fake flowers, but in the background in the photograph has these colors, and in the painting the skies are the same colors, the sides of the skies are the same colors as these paintings, like these pink and the blue or something. I forget exactly how it went, but if you look at the painting you can see it, and it has the same kind of like placement of stuff, and the girl's leg looks like my leg in the photograph, because it's like kind of one of those things where the leg looks like that and looks like I'm crossing my legs, but it's actually her leg. It's in the photograph or whatever. And in the painting, these two characters are meshed together, kind of doing that same thing. So, and then there's a bird on her head. So I don't know what the bird means. To me at the time when I painted the bird, was more like kind of like that metaphor to me. I don't know if it's a Mexican metaphor or where it comes from, but it's kind of like the flowers and the bird, and like feathers in the hair, kind of like a spirit animal. That's the best thing I could think of. Like, that would be a spirit animal, like a buddy, like, kind of like Frida had a monkey or whatever, It's kind of like your little animal that hangs out with you. So a bird, I don't know what that really means, but that's what I used, and I'm using it to this day in my comic book Chico. Like, I like it. I don't know what it really means, but kind of maybe the mother, the nesting eggs. I don't know. So that was weird. It's an hour already. I better stop this. Okay, so that's kind of some weird stuff with the music. I'll go into more music stuff right now.